In the annals of crime, few stories are as layered, as shocking, and as tragic as this. A man who escaped a killer's wrath, only to find himself embroiled in a murder-for-hire plot. This is the story of Basil Borutski's chilling 2015 rampage and the bizarre twists that followed. It all began on a grim September day in 2015. Basil Borutski, a man consumed by rage and vengeance, embarked on a killing spree meticulously planned for months. By the time the day ended, 3 innocent lives were lost: Carol Culleton, Anastasia Kuzik, and Natalie Warmerdam. But his rampage wasn't supposed to end there. The next target on his list was a man Borutski only referred to as the Fat Man.
Much for taking a few minutes to come in and talk to me. You just go ahead and eat and have your coffee, take your time. That's not a problem at all. I'm going to do the same. Basically, as I said earlier, my name is Kyle O'Neill, and I'm a detective sergeant with the Ontario Provincial Police, the Legal Sciences section. And just so you know, Basil, this room right now is being audio and video recorded. That's what these black bulbs up in the corners are. And there's also an audio recording here as well. It's the back of it in case there's some kind of technical malfunction. And just so you know, because we're in a police station, you're actually probably being recorded everywhere you go as we're walking around here. Just so you're aware of that.
The Fat Man was Kyle Bancroft, a lumberyard owner known for his controversial business dealings. Bancroft would narrowly escape death that day, hiding his 500-pound frame in the bushes while Borutski prowled the area, weapon in hand. In his diary, Borutski recorded his rage, detailing his failed attempt to exact vengeance on Bancroft, who he blamed for an alleged stolen backhoe scheme. It was personal for Borutski, but Bancroft's troubles didn't end there.
Not only from the OPP, but also from the Ottawa Police Service. And what I want to make sure is that there's no misunderstanding about what we're here talking about today. And really all I want to know is, what's your understanding of why we're here right now, Basil? Is it okay to call you Basil? Is that what you normally go by?
No, Basil.
Basil?
You're here trying to get me to say something to incriminate me in any way you possibly can.
Well, that's not entirely true. I certainly am interested in what the truth is here today, but my primary purpose is to make sure that
Kyle Bancroft wasn't just a near victim. He had a reputation of his own. Accused of fraud, more than 50 counts in Renfrew County, Bancroft allegedly swindled clients with promises of lumber deliveries that never came. Complaints piled up online and with authorities, but his most shocking legal troubles were yet to come. While awaiting trial for armed robbery and fraud, Bancroft became embroiled in a chilling murder-for-hire plot. The alleged scheme surfaced when Jeffrey Godin, a career criminal, approached police with a disturbing claim.
Anastasia Kuzik and Natalie Warmerdam. And those are the three individuals that were murdered, and those are the 3 individuals that you've been arrested for. Okay? So that's why you're here today. That's why you were arrested. And that is some of what I'm going to be talking with you about here today, okay? You are going to be going to a bail hearing this afternoon. And if you have any questions at all as we're speaking here, Basil, you just go ahead and fire away, okay?
Well, listen.
But in a bizarre twist, Godin would never testify. On July 23, he was shot dead in Hull, Quebec. His accused killer, Rafid A. Mohammed, now awaits trial for second-degree murder. Gatineau detectives later questioned Bancroft about Godin's death but found no evidence linking him to the murder. Bancroft remained defiant, claiming his innocence in all accusations against him.
Do you know what your rights are, Basil?
It means remain silent, that thing?
Yep. And that's part of it. The reason why I'm asking is, I know a little bit about your background. I know obviously you're, a bright individual, so I'm not trying to snow you. Other officers have gone over this with you already. But what I find, it's been my experience that even though people are provided their rights to counsel, they don't necessarily understand them to their fullest because of the circumstances that they're in at the time. So basically all of our rights, Basil, are guaranteed. Okay, and they're guaranteed under what's called the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. And the Charter of Rights states that when someone's been arrested or detained, they must be advised of their right to counsel, or basically their right to.
As the legal drama continues to unfold, questions linger. Was Bancroft truly the victim of fabricated accusations, or is there more to his story? One thing is certain. The shadow of Basil Borutski's rampage has left a lasting mark on everyone involved. A tale of vengeance, survival, and deception. The full interrogation of Basil Borutski, coupled with the tangled web of crimes surrounding Kyle Bancroft, reminds us of the harrowing depths of human nature.
Phone list that's available to you for free legal aid lawyers. First of all, do you understand that right?
I don't understand it, and the system is so corrupt that.
Well, it's difficult for sure. I don't know if I wouldn't say it's necessarily corrupt, but it's definitely got some
It's corrupt.
some things that we need to spend some time working through. And the first thing all I want to do right now, Basil, is make sure you understand your right, okay? I understand you talked to a lawyer earlier, a duty counsel lawyer,
No.
last night.
I'm so tired. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
Well, and you know what, Basil, again, that's why I'm here going over these things again with you now, because I know you were, in a very unique situation yesterday, and I know you were no doubt tired, and I want to make sure, that's why I'm going over these rights with you, because I want to make sure you know that when you have these opportunities afforded to you, all right? So it is your right to talk to a lawyer, and if you'd like to talk to a lawyer, I can get a lawyer on the phone for you. You can talk to your own lawyer if you have a lawyer. You can talk to a duty counsel lawyer or a legal aid lawyer who are available to give you free advice. Do you understand that right, Basil?
What's the point? Doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter. It matters to me that you understand. Does that make sense to you?
No.
What part doesn't make sense?
The corrupt part. Get a corrupt lawyer on the phone and talk to them.
Right. Well, and you know what? I'm absolutely willing to talk to you about your feelings about the corrupt system that we're working in right now, if that's the way you want to perceive it. But you're right to talk to a lawyer. It's relatively simple. And I just want to make sure that that's clear to you. So do you want to talk to a lawyer right now?
I don't want to talk to any crooks.
Well, I don't necessarily think all lawyers are crooks, and certainly not duty counsel lawyers or legal aid lawyers or several other lawyers of choice that are available. So if you'd like to speak with a lawyer at any time today, Basil, you can just let me know and I can make that happen for you. Okay? So would you like to talk to one right now?
No point, I just.
There's no point right now? If you change your mind and you decide you'd like to talk to one later, will you let me know? Does that seem fair?
I'll let somebody know.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Basil.
I'll let somebody know.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm here, right? I'm the one that can make that happen for you. So if you let me know, if you change your mind, I'll be more than happy to get a lawyer on the phone for you. Is that fair?
Well, okay.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, Basil, we live in a very good country. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you know that we all have the same rights and freedoms. You, me, everybody. But there's some things that we're required to do by law, Basil. For example, for me, I drove a car here today. So the law requires me to have a driver's license. But there's also things that we don't have to do. And one thing you don't have to do is sit here and talk to me. Basically, Basil, the law considers me to be what's called a person in authority, and this is a criminal matter that you're here for today. So basically, I can be subpoenaed to any court in the country to account for what takes place here between you and me. Any conversation you and I have, Basil, may be admissible in court. Do you understand that?
It doesn't matter.
Well, again, it does matter because it's your right, and if it's something that you want to exercise, you certainly can. You understand that, though?
Every dealing I've ever had is malicious prosecution on the part of the OPP, so it doesn't matter.
Well, first of all, I'm not here to prosecute you of anything. That's not my job, Basil. I'm not a prosecutor.
You're certainly not a positive person on my side.
Well, I mean, I think I made sure you had some clothing instead of that jumpsuit, right?
After you starved me all day yesterday, never fed me nothing, wouldn't give me nothing, not even water. Yeah, that was really nice.
But again, that wasn't me, right? I just got here this morning at about
It's all your
8:30.
so-called brothers. Great bunch of human beings.
Well, there's difficult people to deal with in all walks of life, isn't there? But I think it's fair of me to say that I showed up here and the first thing I did was make sure you got food and clothing. Right?
That's supposed to make you feel special. The first officer that arrested me should have had some decency.
Now that I've done that, the next thing I want to do is make sure that your rights are available to you and understood by you. So I know that you talked to a lawyer yesterday, but yesterday was yesterday. Today's a new day and things may have changed for you in your mind. And I want to make sure that I'm still giving you that opportunity if you want to exercise it. Now you said you don't want to right now. If you change your mind down the road, you let me know and I'll make that call happen for you. Is that fair enough, sir?
You said before.
Sorry, I didn't catch you there.
That's what you said before.
Okay. Now, basically, there's one last thing I want to make you aware of here. I want you to clearly understand that anything that may have been said to you previously, I don't want that to influence you or make you feel compelled to say anything at this time. So anything you felt influenced or compelled to say earlier, you're not now obliged to repeat, nor are you obliged to say anything further. But whatever you do say may once again be given as evidence. All right, Basil? Basically, I know that you've spoken with other police officers before you spoke with me. And if anyone told you that you have to talk to me, that is incorrect. Does that make sense, sir?
Okay.
Is there anything about what I told you that you don't understand or you have any questions about? I mean, I realize that maybe you don't care about it, and that's fine. But it's important to me that you at least acknowledge that you understand what I'm saying. And I'm at least speaking clearly. And
Do you know what malicious prosecution is?
I think I've heard the term before.
For all I know is you're
Oh, what?
right up that alley. So there's no reason for me to talk to you.
Well, you don't have to talk to me, right? And like I said, I'm not a prosecutor. Like I said, I am interested in making sure that your rights are fulfilled and that your needs are met, that you're being treated fairly and humanely. And I hope I've done a good job of that so far here today. Would you say so? Or is there something I haven't done that I could have done? Is there anything else I could have done, Basil? Or am I doing all right so far?
You're wasting your time.
Well, I'm not wasting my time at all.
Wasting my time.
Well, You may feel that way, but like I said, I mean, I realize you're in this situation. I'm sure you don't want to be here. I don't necessarily want to be here at this moment in time right now either. But basically, I was in Sudbury, and I came here at 1 o'clock in the morning to come and talk to you because I was asked to come and speak to you, and I wanted to come and talk to you. And the first thing I have to do when I do arrive in situations like this is make sure that the individual I'm speaking with is properly taken care of. What is it about this malicious prosecution? Why do you keep bringing that up? Or what does it have to do with me?
You're a police officer.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
You're part of the big brother. One does something dirty, the rest of us all follow suit and hide and keep the guy safe.
Well, I can appreciate that perspective is out there.
No, it's there. Not.
Yeah, I'm not denying that people believe that's what happens. Basil, because you are here at a police station, we are to some degree responsible for your health and safety. So I have some questions I'd like to go over with you just about any concerns that we may need to address with you in terms of your health. Is that fair? Can I go over those with you?
I'd like to see a doctor as soon as possible, and I'm on pain medication. I just can call my doctor, Bruce Harris, and find out.
Yeah, those are exactly the things
I take it every 4 hours, and he's haven't given me any, and he wouldn't give me water all day yesterday. Is there any other concerns? Like, oh God.
I've got a lot of, those are exactly the issues I want to address.
Then you come along and act like you're Mr. Nice Guy. Every officer here should be taking care of people like a human being.
I agree with you. I think you're absolutely right there. And that's what I'm trying to do for you right now.
Don't try to make yourself a nice guy. All the officers should treat people like people.
I don't have to try to make myself a nice guy. I just am a nice guy. Yeah. I know that we've never met before, and you haven't ever dealt with anybody that I've had to deal with in the past, so you don't know that, and I can appreciate that. But believe me, it doesn't take any effort on my part. Now, at this point, all I'm trying to do is find out about your medical concerns, which you seem to have some of, and I would like to know about them so we can properly care for you. And I'm sitting here willing to find that information out. All I'm asking you to do is be courteous and answer those very simple questions about your health so we can make sure you're being well taken care of.
I've asked every officer in here already and got no response.
Well, here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity.
Ask the question and I'll answer it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do you have any issues with diabetes?
No.
Do you have any issues with your hearing, Basil?
No.
Do you have any issues with your back?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on with your back?
I have 4 ruptured discs. I'd prefer if you contact my doctor and find out all the information so you don't torture me here. I need pain medication.
4 ruptured discs?
I prefer if you contact the doctor and get it exactly right, because maybe I'm not saying the words properly.
Okay, and absolutely I can do that. What I would like to do, if it's all right with you, is go through this form so I have all the issues, and then what I'll do is I'll have one of the other officers follow up with your doctor. Does that seem fair?
I don't care.
Okay.
I have a hernia. It needs operation. I was already put in jail twice. I tried to have it done both times and they wouldn't do it. And it's still not done because I haven't gotten a chance. It needs attention. I need pain medication.
How long has this injury been going on for, Basil?
I apparently have a B12 deficiency or something. Talk to my doctor. I don't know. I had dizzy spells. I had 3 concussions in my life.
Okay. Sorry, you said you have some medication for your back.
Yes.
Do you know what that medication is?
Oxycodone.
Okay.
1 every 4 hours.
When was the last time you would have taken one, Basil?
Yesterday morning.
Do you recall what the dosage is?
No.
Okay. Sorry, your doctor's name, what was his name?
Bruce Harris.
Bruce Harris. Where would you practice out of?
Paris Bay.
Barry's Bay? Okay. Barry's Bay.
St. Francis Hospital.
St. Francis Hospital, okay. Are there any other medications that you require other than the oxycodone?
Yeah, he has me on.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I'm trying to think. He has me on some kind of the best is just call him some kind of antidepressant. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
And quinine for leg cramps. Charlie horse type thing. He had, and I'm supposed to be taking vitamin B12 because I have a deficiency, and I just had blood tests to find out if it's getting better or not. I don't know.
Okay. Any issues with ulcers, Basil?
No, I also have something on my foot that I never got to the doctor about. It's either plantar's wart or athlete's foot, or the whole side of my one foot is.
Okay.
The doctor's on holidays till the 28th, I think. I don't know what the date is today.
Okay. Any issues with epilepsy?
No, the rest of it you can get from the doctor. They told you what the problems are.
What are you in discomfort right now?
Yes.
Okay. What where are you hurting at the moment?
I suffer from chronic pain. Talk to the doctor.
Okay. Well, the doctor's, as you just said, he's away on vacation, and we're gonna have to have an officer call the hospital to find out what your medical records are. So it's actually more convenient in the meantime if I get the answers right from you, so I can address anything that's going on with you right now. I will certainly follow up with the doctor so we can find out what you need and get you the care that you need. But I want to make sure you're okay right now. That's why I'm going over this stuff. I'm not trying to be tedious or a jerk or anything.
You are. Don't worry about it. Forget it. Call the doctor. You'll get proper information from him. I may not even say it right.
Okay, well, I'm not going to be asking about the types of drugs or anything like that. Just very broad, general questions like what kind of pain are you in right now?
Ask the doctor. You'll get proper answers. He's the professional.
Okay. Have you ever had any kind of head injury?
I already told you I had 3 concussions in my life.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you say that. 3 concussions. How did you do those?
I had a car accident and I broke all discs or whatever in my back, and I got a concussion, and I busted up my hand. I can't even remember what all. And the guy that hit me was telling the police officer, take this guy to the hospital, he's hurt bad. And he told the cop that about 10 times. He was sitting in the back seat of the cruiser, I was sitting in the front seat of the cruiser. When the guy got out of the cruiser, the cop looked at me and he said, you can fucking drive yourself to the hospital. And he turned and showed me a fucking criminal record that wasn't even supposed to exist. It was supposed to be wiped clean because I was found not guilty. So he fucking left me there on the side of the fucking road, and how I got to the hospital is beyond me. And I got no treatment because I went to a little hospital. It's like I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
So now I'm...
How many years back are we talking here, Basil?
I don't know. It happened when I was going to work. Atomic Energy, Petaluma Flats. That cop should be shot and pissed on for what he done to me.
So is this, are we talking a long time ago? Like over 10 years ago or 5 years ago? Or?
Over 10 years ago.
Okay. And you were working at Atomic Energy? Okay.
That's right.
What were you doing out there? What was your title?
Millwright.
Millwright, okay. Are you retired now?
I'm disabled now from that accident.
From the accident, okay.
And if you look it up on the record, it'll say there that it was non-life threatening. It's amazing that I'm alive.
Okay.
So I know all about you good cops, so you are.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not malicious, I don't know what is.
So are you able to do anything else for work now?
No.
Have you had any alcohol or non-prescription drugs in the last 2 days?
No. I am not an addict of any sort. Never was. Ask my doctor.
Okay. Were you able to get any sleep last night?
I have no idea if I slept on a steel bench.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine with my back what that feels like? No humanity whatsoever.
Did you mention anything to the guard about it?
The answer when I mention is that they're not supposed to be comfortable. When I asked them to loosen the handcuff because I had my hand cut off. Who cares?
Is it when you were coming over from Ottawa the cuffs were too tight? Is that what you're saying?
And they left me sitting outside here in the car. I kept telling them I can hardly feel my fingers anymore. My whole hand swollen. No, it's not blue. I don't care. I had my hands cut off. I feel things a little different than what you do. Mm-hmm. I was only asking for common sense.
Is it fair to say that you're getting that from me now?
Getting what?
Common sense and courtesy?
No.
And so what have I not done here to...
You're a police officer. I have lots of experience with police officers. I just told you about a car accident and how they treat me, so I don't trust you one little bit.
Okay.
I know all about your brotherhood. One of you fucks up or lies, the rest of you all hide it.
Doesn't sound like you've had very many positive experiences with policemen.
I've never had a positive experience with a policeman.
Mm-hmm.
If there would have been a positive policeman, my whole life would be different.
Well, what about the experience we're having right now? Is that positive?
I just told you you're a police officer and you're going by that stupid record that you guys made.
What is this record you're talking about anyway? Do you have a criminal record?
Oh, give me a break.
Well, what's it for?
I am not stupid. Why would you even ask me something like that? You think I don't know you read every word of whatever's there?
Hey,
Don't run me for an idiot.
Basil, I'm just telling you like it is, man. About 6 hours ago, I was in Sudbury on another investigation.
Yeah, and you came in here and sat down without knowing nothing about Basil.
Well, I'm hoping that he's going to tell me about it himself.
Answer the question. You're telling me that you didn't read nothing about
Oh,
Basil?
absolutely not. Let's not kid ourselves. Of course, I've talked to
So
the
why are you
investigators.
asking me then?
I've talked to the investigators about this investigation that's going on right now. I've talked to an officer from this detachment who's dealt with you in the past. But I have not sat down and read any reports on you. I have not read your criminal record. I'm aware that you have one. I don't know what it's
Which
for.
officer did you talk to that had dealt with in the past?
It was a young lady. I can't remember her name.
Kathy Sinowski.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Kathy.
Definitely wasn't Kathy.
Carmel.
There's someone named Nicole. And I don't know any officers from this detachment.
Kathy Sinowski, other cop, got herself involved. She's my wife's niece. My wife was having an affair with her first cousin. She called Kathy. Kathy called another cop named Ian Anderson, who was her boyfriend. He got involved and said that he had knowledge of me assaulting my wife, and he caused the police officer investigating to charge me for nothing. The officer never even met me, and he said he had knowledge. He's a liar.
And again, I've just met you, and I told you I have very limited
That
knowledge
is-
about you. And I'm trying to learn a little bit about it.
What's the point?
Well, the point is that you're here and I'm here, and
Malicious prosecution, that's the point.
I think you might have some difficulty identifying any malice between me and you right now. Wouldn't you agree?
You're asking me stupid questions as if pretending that you don't know I have a criminal record. I am not stupid.
No, I told you I knew you had
So
a
I
criminal
don't want to
record.
talk about it.
I told you I knew you had a criminal record. I said I didn't know what it was for.
No, don't change it. No, I know what you're doing. It's okay. Don't believe a word you're saying.
Basil, do you care what people think about you?
No, I know what people think about me. I have a few friends that are really friends. The rest of the people in the society are all judging me now on what you have done to me.
Well, it's good that you have some good friends. I mean, most people can't even say that. Where did you get your education from?
School.
University? College? You seem very well spoken, that's why I'm asking. I don't always have the opportunity to speak with people that are well spoken.
What does that have to do with parasites and better and trauma?
Sorry, what about trauma? Well, one of the reasons I'm also here, Basil, is that I'm sure you're aware of the gravity of the situation and the seriousness of this investigation. I certainly am, given that you've been arrested for these crimes. And there are no more serious crimes than murder.
I didn't murder anybody.
That's right, you killed somebody. Correct? Killed 3 people, actually. What's the difference between killing and murder?
Thou shalt not murder. Commandments.
Mm-hmm. So is killing justified? Is that what you're getting at?
I'm saying that
And I believe it's actually thou shalt not kill.
you're wrong. You better start reading the Bible.
Yeah?
Yeah. Find an old version before they changed it.
Way back to the King James. Anyway, the importance is that you understand that obviously this is a serious situation. Frankly, Basil, that's why I'm here. I've got a lot of experience dealing with these types of investigations. I've been doing it for almost 20 years now. And it's been my experience that the why these things happened carries a lot of weight. And it's quite important to other people. I'm sure you've seen the news over the years in Toronto, and they'll have fascinating headlines, such as, 60th murder of the year, 61st murder of the year. And it'll be some story about an old man who was shot and killed in one of the projects and then left in a stairwell to die. And people will hear these stories, and they'll wonder what type of person could do such a thing. That's a natural reaction that we as human beings have, especially when you just see a half or a third of the story that the media portrays. And really, Basil, this is your opportunity here to explain why you've done these things. Because it might be important to you, I don't know, that people don't have the wrong impression about you. I'm just beginning to develop an impression about you from the limited time we've spent here together. And I'm sure it's going to be vastly different from what's circulating in the media right now with the community's thinking. So one of the reasons I'm here is to give you this opportunity to explain why you killed these 3 girls.
You're putting words in my mouth.
I haven't said anything.
You just
I just asked you a simple question. Why did you kill these girls? That's it.
You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that.
Which words am I putting in your mouth?
What you just said.
Well, I can't really put a question in your mouth when I'm asking it. And it's interesting how you made the distinction between murder and killing. What that would suggest is that you have some kind of justification for what you've done, which it's also been my experience is always the case. In my career, I've not spoken to one killer who woke up that day and decided they were going to go out and kill somebody. Virtually every single one of them found themselves in a set of circumstances beyond their control, and they reacted, typically poorly, and something happened. There's always an excuse, there's always a reason why. And whether you choose to acknowledge it or not, your opportunity to tell the why is important. Because like I said, what that does is it allows the community to get some understanding of why you did these things. Because on the surface, people just wonder and they will naturally gravitate to what they think is the worst in people. But when you explain why you did these things, then people can get an appreciation for how the situation developed, and sometimes they can even see themselves in that situation. Oh yeah. Geez, if that was me, I may have reacted the same way. Now that only really matters to somebody who cares what anyone thinks about them, which is why I asked you that question initially. It's also been my experience that people say they don't care what other people think. That's usually not true. Everyone cares. It's human nature to care. you cared enough to do what you did. So you're going to have a hard time convincing me that you don't care what people think about you. I'm sure you were hurt in some way and reacted in this fashion. And you're not the first to do this, and you're not going to be the last. You wait, Basil.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. It don't make any sense at all.
Okay. Do you need me to explain anything? Am I speaking too fast? Am I speaking clearly?
Okay, I'm not hardly listening.
Because like I said, if at any time you don't understand what I'm saying, please just let me know. Because I don't want there to be any misunderstanding between you and I. Now, 3 women are dead because of you. And there's reasons for this. Whether or not you care to acknowledge them or not,
You're putting words in my mouth again.
well, it's entirely up to you whether or not you care to acknowledge that. But here's the thing, Basil, and this is something I want you to really think about for a second. Because it's important to me that you hear these words, okay? Because a lot of people, they don't listen when I tell them this, and I really want you to understand this perspective. I understand that you have your perspective right now. You're involved in this traumatic situation that is no doubt, I can't even imagine how you feel. But I know other people have been in your situation. And what I want you to think about, Basil, is this. At some point in the near future, all the details of this investigation are going to come forward. Okay? And what I mean by that is, I'm not sure how extensive your involvement is with police investigations, but basically how they work. They're like a big pie, if you can imagine a big pie. Okay? And the pie is broken into all kinds of different sections. Some big, some small. But they make up the whole pie. And the whole picture is the totality of the investigation. And really all that is the truth about what happened to those 3 women. And of these various pieces of pie, we have things like forensic evidence. Okay? We have just like you see on CSI, we have all these sophisticated IDEN officers that go around and collect evidence from the scene, DNA, photographs, clothing, burn analysis. And then we have another section of the pie which includes things like, phone records, cell phone records, the right production order to find out, where phones are, what text messages are going back and forth. And then we'll have another section of the pie which is more forensic evidence through pathologies. Okay, the Center of Forensic Sciences that will conduct autopsies on the victims and find out exactly how they were killed and what the exact cause of death was. The pathologist will explain those details in great detail. And then, of course, we'll have witness statements. The police are out right now collecting witness statements from probably hundreds of people, canvassing neighborhoods. And then we'll have people like myself from behavioral sciences coming down and offering opinions, conducting certain interviews, because we have lots of experiences with talking to people in these extraordinary circumstances like you're in right now. And then we'll have Crown attorneys that will look at our investigation, and they'll make suggestions to the case managers or detective inspectors from CIB who specialize in nothing but homicide investigations for probably the last 90 years of the OPP. And then we'll have another section which is dedicated largely to the victims' families, who will provide input into the lives that were lost and how that's affected not only their families, but the community at large. And this last little section of the pie here, Basil, it's a very small, thin section compared to all the rest of them. And you don't have to open your eyes and look at it, because I'm sure you can imagine what a sliver of pie looks like. And what that is, it's the truth. And that's what you, the person being charged, that's your section. That's your contribution to the pie. And basically what happens is, Basil, is number one, when you don't tell the truth or when you lie. Well, what we do is we take all these other sections of the pie and we use them to show how you're not truthful or you're lying. And what happens is you lose credibility. Now, sometimes this slice of the pie might be empty altogether, because you could do as you're doing right now and choose not to say anything at all, which is completely fine because that's your right and you can do that. But the risk is, again, we go back to all these other sections of the pie and we use them to prove our case. And there's a chance that you can lose credibility in the end. Now, the third option is that you actually take advantage of this opportunity to tell your side of the story and explain why you took those lives. In which case, the truth stands because it's the truth and that's what happened. And then we don't need all these other pieces of the pie to show what happened because it's your story and you decided to tell it, as opposed to everyone else making decisions about you and what kind of guy you are. And this is what I want you to think about, Basil.
This is what I want you to do. I want you to look into the past charges against me by those women, and I want you to do that proper investigation from the point of view of what really happened, and then have a retrial, a fair trial, and then we'll talk about reality. So any information you want from me, you can get by simply doing the proper investigation for the past. I was put in jail twice, wrongfully. Now go out there and find. You're a good cop, you go out and find out why that's wrong. It's not hard.
What was that for? What were you in jail for?
You don't have to look very hard to figure out that, no, it's right. Basil should not have been in jail. After you do that...
First step of the investigation is tell me what I'm investigating. What were you charged with?
Don't play me for stupid. You know exactly.
I don't know, Basil. I don't have to play you for stupid. I don't have to pretend when I don't know what you were charged with. I understand you have a criminal record.
I think you're stupid right now to talk to me as if I'm stupid. Just go out there and punch the computer. Don't act like I'm an idiot.
Well, here's the other thing, Basil. The reason why I'm asking is whatever common criminal offense you were charged with, I don't investigate. I only do homicides.
I guess that's why you're not going to figure it out, because you're not smart enough to go back and find out. Maybe you could find out that, geez, Basil was innocent. Maybe you could find out that some of these cops done some pretty bad things and they framed Basil. Maybe you could find out some of the reality and all the pieces might fall into place.
Well, what did they frame you about? What did they do? Was it about women? Could it be
Did I already tell you some stuff?
Could it be another...
Did I tell you about a Kathy Sinofsky and an Ian Anderson? Did I tell you? Did you write that down?
Those are just names. I don't know what
Constable then. Write that down. Constable, and find out. Look into the past, what their big mouths had to say, the lies they told. Try that out for style. That's a really good place to start. Look at Reggie Armonas. Look at her party. Find out that I told the truth through that whole thing, and she lied through the whole thing.
Well, I can't say that I'm shocked about women lying about some kind of domestic situation. That doesn't shock me at all. When I was a road constable, I dealt with that lots of
Women
times.
use the system to their advantage financially for
Of course they
every
do.
reason they can. and
Of
it's-
course they do.
Well, that's corrupt. If you know that, you should be doing
Of course
something
they
about it.
Well, what would you like me to do about it? That's the way the world works, Basil. That's the world we live in.
Well, you are a stupid fucker if you believe that. If you know that, then you're a cop. You should be trying to change it, shouldn't you? You should be making it right. You know the difference between right and wrong? I do.
So do I.
Well, obviously not, because you just said that's the way the world is. What a stupid thing to say. If it's wrong, you change it. You're a cop.
I'm one cop, right? I'm one person.
And that means you can't do nothing about it, eh?
No.
Yeah, you don't even open your mouth and voice an opinion.
Maybe sometimes you gotta take the path of least resistance, Basil.
Yeah, because then you stand back and let people like me take the fall. Do your job. You're supposed to be a public servant.
Yeah, I am a public servant. That's why I'm here today, providing you with options.
You're not a very good one if you know that happens and you don't do anything about it. You don't speak up about it. The whole judicial system sucks the big one.
No, that's not true.
That
The
is
judicial
true.
system, they're doing the best they can. It has flaws like anything else, but they're trying to do the best they can.
The most horrible thing you can do is put an innocent person in jail and accuse her.
I would say the most horrible thing you could do is take the life of a woman. Kill a woman. That would be the worst thing you could do, I would say. I think there's a lot of people that agree with me. I think you agree with me.
You should re-educate yourself.
You think killing women is okay? It's good?
Don't put words in my mouth. I never said no.
I don't need to put words in your mouth. They're coming out just fine. I'm just pointing out some fairly obvious observations.
I'm talking about the reality of how things get to where they are.
The reality is 3 women are dead.
You're
You
thinking-
killed them, and you're talking about how you were wronged years ago in some kind of cheesy, domestic assault charge?
That's what you hear?
That's what you're telling me.
No, that's
Vaguely, you're not really telling me. I'm asking you because I want to know, and you don't really want to tell me. You're just kind of dancing around the issue.
Really? That's the way to see it, eh?
Oh, you're talking about malicious prosecution. How about malicious victimization? When if you're such a victim in this and you don't want to tell me about it, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, I'm not going to go running out and punch up reports and punch up criminal records and read about you when I'm not here to do that. When really you don't want me to, because if you did, you would just tell me and save a lot of time. You're an educated man, you're a religious man, so you know that sometimes the way the world works doesn't work out always the way it should be. You have a clear understanding of the picture I just portrayed to you of an investigation and what the truth, the importance of it could mean for
me
you.
the serenity to accept the things I can, the courage to know the different, and the wisdom to whatever. Read that, think about it.
But going back to thinking about it, Basil, the reason why I was explaining this investigation is because this is what I want you to think about. And it might be the only thing of value you take from this conversation you and I have here today. Me, I don't really need anything else. I mean, I've kind of done my job in one sense. That I've been here making sure you're fed and trying to look after your medical needs and giving you an opportunity to speak. What I want you to think about is this. In the near future, people are going to be making decisions about you. In the very near future. People like lead investigators on this file. People like Crown attorneys. Potentially someday a judge. Potentially someday a jury. Certainly the community and your peers. They are going to be making decisions about you and the way you've conducted yourself. That is going to happen. Now, what I want you to think about is if you were in their position, if you were looking at this investigation, if you were looking at the allegations against you and the evidence and the content of this case, what would you think about what you've done here and how you're portraying yourself? You're a reasonable guy. What would you make of all this if you were looking at it from the outside in? Would you like to sit back and watch this video of you talking about how, I don't know how many years ago, some investigation went bad for you, some assault investigation, when you're here under arrest for killing 3 women? Is that what you'd like to see on video? Would you like to see on video how nonchalant and non-interested you look for these cameras right now when 3 women are dead because you killed them?
Nonchalant.
Well, I mean, that's the adjective that comes to mind right now.
I'm happy for you. You're not.
You don't have to be happy for me, because what's going to happen is when I'm done here, Basil, when I'm done talking to you, I'm going to get up and I'm going to walk out of this room and I'm going to go on to the next case. And I won't give this a second thought, because there's lots of other cases just like this one. This might be a unique situation for you. It's not unique to me at all. It really isn't. You're not blowing my hair back here, man. This is not my first rodeo. Okay? And when I walk out of this room, when we're done here today, your opportunity to fill in that pie and affect the way people think about you and what you've done is gone.
It's with a liar. Would be with somebody that is supposed to be representing me.
I didn't catch the first part of that, Basil. What about a lawyer? Is going to be representing you?
That would be when I would be telling my story to a lawyer that is interested in representing me. You are not representing me. You are representing evil.
No, I'm representing the truth. I'm representing 3 dead girls, 3 dead women.
If you were, you'd be looking into
2 ex-girlfriends of yours.
3.
3? No, I don't think Natalie was. I think she turned you down, right?
I lived with her for 3 years. What are you talking about? Paid for half the farm. Work on it.
Sorry, Anastasia is the one that turned you down.
Turned me down.
She's quite a bit younger than you, too. You're not the first guy to be turned down, though.
I wasn't turned down by Anastasia. I was dating Carl Culleton, and I was working in Anastasia's house.
Okay.
She was a friend, like a daughter. She lied in court.
Sometimes people are not truthful.
A lot. She lied a lot, and the Crown Attorney said, it's okay to lie. That was her end statement thing. It's okay, some people lie.
So is that why
What's the point of going to court when it's okay to lie?
So is that why you killed these girls, Basil? Because they're not going to get their comeuppance in court? They're going to lie and they're going to escape responsibility?
If you're a cop, you should know that people that use the system are guilty.
That's true, but it's not our job to go around and
It
take
is your
justice
job.
into our own hands.
It's not in your own hands. It's reality. I was in jail for nothing. The person that accused me should have been charged.
So what did these women do to you that made you have to kill them? That's the burning question of the day.
So I'm in jail for nothing, and that doesn't matter to you.
Not right now, no, because
Well,
you going into jail for a little while kind of pales in comparison to being dead. Don't you think?
I think it's quite important that when innocent people go to jail, the police don't do anything about it. They don't investigate. They don't care.
Well, you know what, really, why do we have to do anything about it when we have you to take care of these problems?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's very evident what I'm talking about. We're way beyond. Listen, I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the question out of my mouth this whole time we've been here was certainly not, did you kill those 3 girls? Because you did. That's very clear from this investigation. and witnesses and evidence. I'm not asking that question. That's not a question I need an answer to. That's not what I care about. It's irrelevant. It's a moot point. My only concern was why you did this to them. What could they possibly have done to make you so angry that you decided in September of 2015 to go and kill these 3 women? And the only rational explanation I can think.
Following his assault and choking of Natalie Warmerdam back in 2013, Borutski was ordered by Justice Stephen Hunter to attend a partner assault response program as part of his probation. However, he failed to comply with this order and was never charged for this breach. Subsequently, Borutski was released from jail on December 27, 2014, after assaulting and choking Anastasia Kuzik. Justice Wilson, upon his release, mandated that Borutski attend and actively participate in all assessments, counseling, and rehabilitation programs as directed by his probation officer, providing proof of completion.
Not know. If that was the case, that's most unfortunate. But speaking about that investigation right now is not my concern, and it should not be your concern.
I fail to agree with you. I think it should be your concern.
Well, we have to have a hierarchy of concerns, Basil. I'm sure you can understand that.
Yeah, well, you have to find out, start at the lower key and work up to the hierarchy to understand.
Well, that's not the way the world works. Come on, we both know that.
That's the way it should work.
Well, there's the way it should work ideally, and then there's the way it does work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
And I don't think that the people in this community would appreciate me ignoring you having taken the lives of those 3 girls just to go open up a case where you may have been wrongly charged years ago that you don't even want to tell me about.
He was also prohibited from contacting Kuzik, but refused to sign this order before his release. Despite these orders, Borutski repeatedly violated the terms of his probation. He failed to attend the mandated programs and disregarded the order to stay away from Kuzik.
In the news all across Ontario.
And the police made it that way.
No, the media made it that way. No. Actually, you made it that way. You are the one that made it that way. You made this situation, not me. I was minding my own business in Sudbury yesterday. No idea who you were. But here I am, in a room, talking to you, trying to find out who you are, trying to find a reasonable explanation for why this happened. Trying to find some shred of hope that the community is going to hear and have an understanding of why things like this happen. What was done to you
if the community
that hurt you so badly that you had to
If the community wanted to know, they would start an independent inquiry and look into the past. How did it ever evolve to get to this? Because Basil Borutski is a kind, caring, God-fearing human being. So how did it get there?
Borutski was found guilty following a lengthy jury trial, during which he adamantly refused to participate. His crimes followed a history of violence and disregard for the law. He was on probation for threatening Warmerdam's son and their dog when he murdered Kuzik. He was still on probation for the assault on Kuzik when he committed the triple homicide on September 22, 2015.
Friends that you have, friends that they had, said that you were a good, caring person. From what I understand, it looks like you're acting as a handyman for some of these women, helping them out when they in their time of need. So I would agree with you that yes, that is what people say about Basil, that he is a caring, good person. The religious side wasn't apparent until I sat down and started talking to you, but I can obviously see that as well. Make no mistake, people aren't out there saying that you're some kind of terrible person. Which is one of the reasons why I agreed to come here from Sudbury to talk to you today. Is because that's the kind of things that people are saying to you. They are saying that you're a good person. You are helping. You are caring. And I don't understand how this happened. Just like everybody else doesn't understand. And that's why I wanted to take the time to come here and talk with you. It would have been easy for me just to go to the investigator and say, oh yeah, look, you got enough here. See you later. I don't need to talk to this guy. We got better things to do. But I wanted to take the time to talk to you.
And when I tried
Because I don't understand.
talk over me some more. You said anytime you want, just,
Yeah.
and every time I do, you just keep on talking.
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, you're sorry, all right.
But what did you want to say?
Every time I try to tell you the proper thing to do is to find out that I was innocent of all those charges, all those times dragged through court.
Okay.
And that there was police officers that constantly didn't do what they were supposed to do, constantly tried to frame Basil. And then you'll see how it evolved, little by little by little, to the point where Basil has no choice. The system is just screwing him.
So which cases are we talking about here? What do you want me to look into? What are the officers' names? I'm going to write them down.
Oh, you didn't write down already?
No, I didn't write
wasn't
down.
even important to you about Kathy Sinofsky and Ian Anderson
Okay.
and the past and how Reggie Armonis.
Basil, I need you to slow down for me. I can't. That's why I didn't get them the first time around. You blew through them so fast. You're on to the next thing. I didn't even hear them other than Kathy somebody. Kathy. Basil. Sernowski.
Maiden name. She's married to a cop. I think
She's your wife's niece. Is that correct?
right.
Okay. She's married to a cop.
I believe her married name is Lemelin or something like that. She threatened to shoot me when she was going to police college. Now she teaches police.
She threatened to shoot you.
Right on.
So what was the case I'm looking into here? What was the allegation that you feel you're wrongly convicted of or somebody lied in?
I believe that time that the wife took off with her first cousin and lived with him for 6 months. And
your wife?
That's right.
Okay.
And then she made a fictitious charge that supposedly happened years before, or whatever you call it, just so that she could get custody of the children. And she got Kathy and Ian to call the officer investigating Reggie Armonis. And the first thing Reggie done was the proper thing.
Hold on a second. Reggie Armonis?
Armonis. Pembroke Police at the time. I don't know where she is now.
Armonis. Pembroke Police. Okay. Sorry. So Reggie was investigating. So she said she made up some story you're saying to gain leverage to get...
Anderson wasn't even a cop here. He was somewhere in Northern Ontario, and Kathy was here, and I don't know where she went to college. She went up there too after and then she broke up with him and she married some other cop here. But she got, the ex-wife got Kathy to phone and talk to Ian. Ian phoned Reggie, said that he had knowledge of me assaulting my wife, which is a direct lie because I've never met the man in my life, so knowledge is knowing. And then Reggie came back and turned around.
The 2022 inquest into the murders produced 86 recommendations, many calling for significant reforms to the justice system, including enhanced monitoring of high-risk domestic violence offenders by Ontario's probation service, a formal declaration of intimate partner violence as a public health epidemic. These recommendations highlight the systemic failures that allowed Borutski to repeatedly offend, culminating in the tragic loss of 3 lives.